Hello, I'm Zippy Holden, and this is Chesney Cates. What did the sushi say to the bee?
Wasabi! Today we are discussing the bee die-off issue.
Here in Berthoud, Colorado, their honeybee die-off reached a near record of 38% this year,
Mirroring the national 42% die-off and spurring a widening push to plant flowers that nourish pollinators.
Honeybees aren't the only bee that are endangered. There are approximately 950 different species here in Colorado.
That's a whole lot of bees there, Zippy. Aren't they also a major pollinator for most of our food?
That's correct. Our bees help produce the nutrition-rich foods you love, such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and honey.
Wow, that's crazy. I do love my strawberries. Did you know, Zippy, that about 35% of the world's food depends on pollinators?
No, I had no clue that it was that high in the numbers. This high of numbers is causing more vitamin deficiency. That is leading to more sickness and even death in our state and around the globe.
This is absolutely concerning, but how would business be affected by this decline if it hit rock bottom?
The economic impact of the bees' population declining is enormous. Some bees are quite specialized and only pollinate specific crops. For example, squash bees only pollinate plants in the squash family. In contrast, honeybees are generalists and pollinate most plants.
They are also a keystone species and contribute an estimated $15 to $30 billion in annual agricultural productivity alone.
Since 2006, winter has also caused a loss of managed honeybee colonies in the U.S. and have averaged 28.7%, almost doubling the historical 15% rate. But Chesney, do you know how they are actually dying?
Yes, I do indeed. Scientists point to several causes that are behind the problems, such as global warming, habitat loss, and a class of insecticides known as neonicotinoids are some real bee killers. The neonicotinoids scramble a bee's ability to navigate its way around. They are a class of neuroactive insecticides chemically similar to nicotine. When seeds are treated with neocides, the chemicals work their way into the pollen and the nectar of the plants, which of course is bad news for bees and other pollinators.
That is terrible, but what's also sad is that there are many other ways bees are dying. The destruction of diverse vegetation, parasitic mites, and changing genetics are driving these die-offs, which bee genetics may be weakening, leaving bees more vulnerable.
What would happen to our environment if this kept happening?
Well, loss of pollination is the most known environmental issue.
But what about my apples and melons?
You should tip your sun hat to our fuzzy insect friends, because without them, no apples and melons for you.
Well, darn. I know for a fact that the process to get those melons depend on bees to carry the male's part, the anther, to the female part of the stigma. Wildflowers and plants outside of farming agriculture depends on our little buzzers too.
Isn't that our nuts, berries, and fruit too, which feed all of our wildlife?
Yes, many like the blackbird and praying mantis and dragonflies all depend on the bees, even our trees, flowers, and many others.
Wow, that's a whole lot of support our little guys give.
Yes, they really do. But what are we going to do to try and help these little guys out?
We have several options. Frankfurt University has come up with a unique entryway for beehives for a very specific invader.
Yes, they have. The veromite is a small critter that crawls into the bees' homes and lays its young next to the young bees. These mites carry multiple bacteria and viruses that wipe out whole colonies of bees.
Frankfurt University has placed this special entryway in commercial bee homes.
Another solution to help our bees is to convince farmers to develop a plant protection where they leave some very specific places of land alone, allowing it to redevelop.
This is a great solution because our American grasslands are rich in wildflowers and are being depleted. At the rising demand for corn, soybeans, and biofuels have driven lands like Colorado, Nebraska, the Dakotas, and part of Minnesota into loss of land.
Even currently beating the Dust Bowl records of land destruction, fighting the diseases and chemicals the bees suffer with would be at a higher success rate if we would keep these lands growing and blooming.
Yet, out of all of these terrific solutions, our decision is to get neonicotinoids banned in the state of Colorado.
To do this, we would need to start a petition for the ban and contact our Congress representative, Joe Niguez.
Why is this the best solution, Chesney?
Well, first, this is a toxin in our ground and in our plants. Second, bees who are not in a commercially run honey farm are being helped and no longer being hurt, even cutting a cost off of farmers' spending.
You may wonder why we want this gone, because without pesticides, crops will be taken over by the destructive insects. There is a safer alternative for bees when compared to the very toxic products like the neonicotinoid we want to ban.
The alternative is fliparyferon, which is a new insecticide with a specific mode of action, which is the way an insecticide kills a pest.
This insecticide is intended to be used on a wide range of crops, which makes it very useful.
And to conclude, we hope you would take at least one new fact about our bees, and it helps you to help those that are helpless themselves.